Welcome. Welcome, Ferran Torres. We welcome you with open arms. Wow. Wow. Those goals were class, class. And not just from Ferran, but from Fabian too. The world champions show out in the second half today and save us from losing pretty significantly. We were 2-0 down at halftime in this game. And then Luis Enrique made the right substitutions and made them early on. He brought on Fabian Ruiz. He brought on, well, that was a little later, but at halftime, he brought on Mika Götze. He brought on Ferran Torres for Dembele, who had just the most awful game today. And we managed to come back. There were so many good chances. This game is why I love my Ligue 1. Ligue 1 is the best league in the world, and nobody can convince me of otherwise, man. This league has everything. Every time I watch a game, it always has a story to tell. This game was really, really good. It's become a really, really good Ligue 1 game to watch every year. Every time this game shows out, there's always so many things to talk about. It's always close. Rennes is a really good team. Le Paul is unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a player he is. That type of number nine is rare. He's in his prime, and I'm low-key surprised that um Premier League clubs haven't come looking for him because he's very much so the type of striker that I think could play in the Premier League. He's so physical, but he's so technical. Some of the things he was doing today, the touches, the one touch pass, the deviation from behind the body, it was so silky. The passing, the right choices, the finishing on his goal. Le Paul is complete, and he was unplayable today. I'll be honest, today he was so good, and the hype around him. Well, he just showed why there was hype about him being in that French team, and he should be somebody that Zidane should seriously consider as part of an option for number nines because he's so complete, he's so good. What he did today was fantastic. But what Ren did today, absolutely crazy. Tamari, what a game. Well, he did like back heel after back heel in this game, bro. He was on crack, man. That goal, by the way, that opening goal was insane. If you didn't have a chance to see it, go watch it. Red were absolutely on crack today, but this game was amazing, right? I love games like this, right? It's such a good game. Risks, goals. Even though Ren sat deep, I didn't think they didn't try attacking. I thought it was really, really fun. This game was just typical entertainment. It's why I love Ligue 1. And yeah, and PSG were put in a really, really difficult position in a really, really early stage of the game. Uh, I think Luis Enrique's game happened at halftime, right? Like he made the right substitutions, and that eventually, not immediately, eventually allowed us to start winning. Um, Dembele had to go. Dembele had to go. He was by far the worst player on the field today. Um, he just didn't have it today. He was, he was there. He was still doing his role as a number 10 in the midfield, but he every time he got the ball and tried to do something, it didn't work. He was sloppy. His finishing was poor. There was a clear chance that Hakimi got him that he completely flubbed at the beginning of the game to equalize. Yeah, he wasn't at his best today. We're not going to hold that against him, but you know, uh, it's not unexpected from Dembele. He usually needs time to really get fit and therefore become the guy that he is, where he can make the differences. But I thought today he was really, really poor. He was by far the worst player on the field, and the right decision to remove at halftime from Luis Enrique. And this is why I love my PSG. Dembele is by far the most important player in this PSG offense on the regular basis. He is the individuality. even though Kvaratskhelia also, right? But he is the guy with the Ballon d'Or. But if he doesn't perform well at halftime, we remove him. We enter another solution who we just recruited in Ferran Torres, and who gives us two beautiful strikers goals, especially that second one, that header. Jesus, that was filthy. The way he and I loved his move on the way he was like behind the defender, then zigzag to get around him and get to the header first. His compatriot Fabian Ruiz, who's also um, a substitution in this game. Wow, you just saw the class of the Spanish class of these two players. They are big reasons why Spain won the World Cup this year. Uh, and yeah, it's our two Spanish players that combine on both goals. Fabian Ruiz, he just has that. He has that left foot that just like he can whip a ball in better than anybody. And he really benefits from having a number nine, a guy who acts more like Ferran Torres or, Gonzalo Ramos even more, but he really benefits from this type of number nine, right? Like I feel like Fabian Ruiz can never really find Dembele, when when you're in the face of your attacking and the other team is defending deep, it's difficult for Fabian Ruiz to find somebody like Dembele in the box, right? Dembele doesn't have a presence in the box. That's not really what he's best at. That's not the type of number nine he is. He's a number nine instead of a 10 because he runs in behind the defense and in counterattack. But in phases of, in phases of attack, yeah, you'll find him in like on the ground, but in the box, but his presence in the air is not going to be felt. And that's what Fabian Ruiz is best at. He can put in those crosses in the air in the right zones in the right position for somebody to attack. And Ferran Torres is a number nine in that regard more than Dembele, right? He knows how he has that part of the game down clearly. That's how he scored his two goals today. He benefited from Fabian Ruiz's magical passing ability that just goes completely unnoticed. It seems like that left foot of his, it can do crazy things, man. And I'm really glad actually. I thought that the setup and the way that Enrique coached this game was really clever. And I actually agree with what he did. Like, as much as obviously, and I'm not going to claim this at all, right? I still think that the starting 11 for this team should be Warren Zaire-Emery in the midfield, and then you have Dembele, right? Dembele was off today. We didn't really get, it was kind of everything that first half. We just like it kind of felt like nothing was going our way. Those two goals by Rennes just were just how do you defend against that quality of a counterattack, right? Like those two counterattacks were fantastic. The goals that they scored were brilliant. I will say I did think a few players were bad, but I do think and I don't think that the starting lineup was badly chosen, and I do like that you can have an option of combination Fabian Ruiz, um, Ferran Torres as a backup for when things get tough and you can't score, right? Which sometimes you won't be able to score with the options that you have, right? I was a little worried actually about PSG's transfer window because I thought they didn't recruit enough different profiles. I thought Ferran Torres, it speaks the same football as Vitinha, Dembele, Akliouche, Götze. None of like they're all really good with the ball, technical players, and who can shoot from long distance, but none of them are Barcola style, who like run in behind, or Ramos style. Well, I guess Ferran Torres answered some questions today and some worries I had about who was going to score headers, because the way he scored that header, man, if he can score more like that, you know, I'm waiting to see. I still don't. I didn't think Ferran Torres was that good of a player in the air. Maybe it was just a one-off thing, or maybe he'll score more. I think he can score more. With the quality of that header, is not just luck, right? It's technique. It's precise. It's experience. the way he just dove in perfectly and worked the angle and flicked his head in the perfect way to really put it. And it's a really difficult header to score. He's far away. He has to really go get the ball. He has to dive for it to re-aim it. And not only does he have time to like re-aim it, but he has the time to make the move with his head. I think it's a brilliant header. And that might, answer some concerns I'm having. I still have concerns if we let Barcola go because I thought Guts brought too much exactly like Kvaratskhelia, right? In fact, a little less actually. Kvaratskhelia, the choice to get him off, I would have waited a little bit. He took him off at the same time as Dembele. I didn't think it was the worst decision. I would have just waited a little bit. And he brought on. I think he also just wanted to try out his new players, right? He wanted to have them play. These guys haven't done any friendlies, right? They just got recruited. So Ferran Torres and Mika Götze. Yeah, I wasn't too gassed about Mika Götze's entry. I didn't think he was great. I mean, obviously you can't say anything about Ferran Torres's entrance in the match, but overall, I love that we have that combination of Fabian Ruiz and Ferran Torres as an option when we do get stuck, exactly like today. Um, and I hope that we still keep playing like this. I feel like there are some players that just play better with each other, and so you have to decide whether or not to put them together at the beginning of the game or at the end of the game. I thought that was the case with Fabian Ruiz and Barcola. I've been saying this in the channel before. I think Fabian Ruiz has like this passing ability that he has to put a ball into Barcola's zone is it's exactly what's putting them together makes them stronger because Barcola makes Fabian Ruiz's passing in behind, better, and obviously the runs of Barcola are found by Fabian Ruiz because he has that quality, right? The runs in behind. Um, and I think that kind of quality to have on a field is more important to have that at the end of a game than at the beginning of one. Um, because ultimately, we dominated in midfield. We were still the better team. The midfield was still good today. But we needed to score goals, and I don't think that's our prime midfield at halftime. I mean, at halftime we needed to score goals, and I don't think that's our prime midfield to score goals. I think you have to put Fabiano Ruiz in there. He's the one who can find the solution, like he did today, and I thought that was really really interesting. But Zaire Emery was not bad. I didn't think he had his worst game today. He was dangerous. He had chances. He's the problem with Zaire Emery is, and that's his weakness in his game, is that he's not really clinical, right? He doesn't have that clinical aspect to his game, right? He doesn't have that. That's why he usually doesn't go up that much. But I thought today he had a lot of chances that he could have scored. He had a Brice Samba put a double save on him that was fantastic, but I do still think that on his chance he should do better. Um, Vitinha was really good today. I thought in his role. In fact, I thought the intentions were there. He was going forward. He was creating chances. He was really lively. Took some shots. He was one of the most dangerous. He's one of the better players from PSG at halftime. In the first half. And the first half was complicated for a few people. Even though Kvaratskhelia started the game well, he really faded into that half of the game. Dembele, as I said, was downright awful. Neves was good. Like I'm saying, like I said, right? The midfield I thought was decent. I thought Doué though was by far our best player. No, not our best player, but by far our best forward this game. I think our best player it lies right here, but I'll get to him. I thought Doué was really, really interesting. The way he in the first half, he was the only one getting us to breathe. He was getting us fouls in dangerous areas. He wasn't losing the ball. He was going to the contact. He was getting fouled a lot during this game. I thought he was getting fouled too much. The fact that there were no yellows given to some of those Rennes players early on, I thought was insane. He was getting in. He was getting tackled pretty harshly in this game, I thought. Um, but he was really good and he wanted to score. He went for it. He took in some shots. He missed a few, right? There was a big chance that Ferran Torres at the end created for him that he had a one-on-one on with the defender and really, really scuffed it. Um, he was still lively, dangerous, really, really one of our best hopes this game to score by far. But him and Hakimi together, right? I think Hakimi um, and Due were by far the best dangerous, despite the fact that they were really, really getting marshaled and tackled hard and some nasty tackles on Hakimi and Due. I think they both ended up with yellows, or I know Hakimi did, because they were in a fight today, right? He, no, he was making some crazy tackles. I thought. I'm surprised he didn't get any yellows. I'll be honest. There was one, I don't know who did it. Was it him? Was it Thomasson? I don't remember who made that tackle on, or maybe it was Tamari, on Savonov, when he cleared. But I thought it looked kind of nasty. I'm surprised that VAR didn't take a look at that. I didn't get all the best views, of course, but I thought it looked a little nasty. I don't know. But realistically, I'm mentioning the refereeing because I'm upset at the fact that there weren't more yellows given. I don't want that to become a trend in the games in the future. I do think that happens to PSG a lot. This kind of we keep fouling them, and we don't get yellows early enough in the game where it will have calmed them down for the rest of the game. They kind of kept tackling us and in tough ways because at best they were getting at worst they were getting fouls, but nothing else. Um, for some pretty harsh tackles where they really left their foot there. Yeah. So Doué really good. I thought he was fantastic. Um, Hakimi was my man of the at least my man of PSG today, my man of the match, I think. I know Ferran Torres came in and scored two goals, of course, but I think throughout the entire game, Hakimi was our rock. He was solid. He was really there on both sides of the field. He really helped defend bad chances, but also was probably the most threatening player on this team. He has this endless exhaust of energy that he can bring to the game. It's incredible the way he gets past players. He sets up Dembele for what should be a goal from Dembele standards. He sets up Dewey tons of times. The way he created chances, the goal the chance that Dewey missed that Ferran Torres scored. It starts with Hakimi. It always started with Hakimi getting the ball high up the field and or like keeping it in really really dangerous areas, but from those dangerous areas didn't play it safe, just went for it, created an acceleration, looked for the pass forward and looked for the 1-2, and he dominated on his side. He was fantastic. Hakimi was our best player today. Marquinhos, I'm not a huge fan of his game today, I'll be honest. I didn't think he was that good. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't, nothing alarming from Marquinhos. I just didn't think he had his best game today. Pacho was good. I thought Pacho was good. I do think ultimately like that you can't do much against a back heel like that. That he put on our, was it the first goal, second goal? But yeah, Pacho really really good. That goal line clearance at the last minute to stop Rennes from winning that game was beautiful. It's typical Pacho. It's why we love him. Now, I have to express myself on this guy because I have high praise for this guy, right? I actually keep claiming that we should seriously start considering putting him, starting for the French team in the way that it defends. And I still would argue this, by the way. But that performance was extremely poor from Lucas Hernandez, and it has to stop because yes, he still did his job, right? His job being he defended his side really well. Nothing ever really happened on the side of Hernandez and Neves. But he wasn't there either. I didn't think he showed himself today. And he did nothing offensively, right? Offensively, he disappointed me. He had one cross, that was it. Like I was really disappointed. He was a little absent today. I'm not gonna lie. His performance really disappointed me. Always playing it safe, but never really on the ball either. He just kind of felt like he was passing today, and you could tell that we were missing Nuno Mendes in this game. So as much as I actually like that Luis Enrique went for Hernandez instead of Digne, um, I am disappointed by this performance, and I'm sure that with Nuno Mendes not being here for the first three games, due to that punishment that I really think is severe. We're gonna need Lucas Hernandez, and he'll have his chance to show himself. I thought he did not show himself in the best light today. Um, Savonov, well, I mean, I thought he was, solid off his line when he needed to, and then on his line, I don't think there was much you can do with the type of goals that he was conceding in this game. I mean, he did concede first post to a really, really good Esteban Leupol goal. I don't think you can really blame him for that. Yeah, so that is pretty much my thoughts on today's game. Um, of course, the most important thing to talk about is Ferran Torres, right? If you're gonna remember one thing from this game is the fact that Luis Enrique in a big game had a chance to try out his some of his new recruits and got some answers, right? Ferran Torres is an answer. That was spectacular, and I'm really, really glad that we have him because I didn't think I was actually not too excited about this recruitment just because I thought even though I thought I rate him. I think he's a really good player. I think if our starting striker was of a Haaland style or something like this, having a Ferran Torres to really offer something different in that position would have been really interesting. But I did think he had a little bit too much of he looked a little bit too much like his style is a little too much like the others, right? Technical, on his feet, good with his feet. But I will say I didn't understand how good he was at creating himself space with his movements. I thought his movement today was what really, really showed why he is a good number nine, why he is at best a number nine. It's like his best position is as a number nine because his movement around the center back, he knows how to handle that like the back of the line to find himself space in the box. He was really, really clever. That I is what I thought was most interesting, and the fact that he scored, right? He created the chances with his movement, but he also scored those chances. I thought that was, clinical, everything that you want to see from the center back that is here to help you save situations when you're not doing well. Um, so really, really happy about this. The conclusions are different now that I prepared this game in my head thinking I was going to bash everybody, and then we ended up coming back. So, um, yeah, I'm satisfied with Luis Enrique's performance. I thought he handled the game well today, despite things not going his way. The refereeing was a little. I understand that the refereeing was a little harsh on PSG today. He got a yellow card for it, but didn't overreact. You know, good game from Luis Enrique. Marnes didn't really do much when he came on, so nothing. Oh, wait, I want to talk about this. Lucas Beraldo. This guy is a midfielder. This guy is a midfielder. Like, forget this. This is get rid of this. Some of the things that he did today, well, after he came on, outrageous. First of all, the tackling. He has this thing where I fully believe Lucas Beraldo, if exploited right, could be something. Yeah, yeah. I love that repositioning of Beraldo in the midfield. It's completely fitting him. Completely. He's strong, so he can really defend the back line really well, but he's so technical. He's got some that passing is crazy, but that the technical, I think he had like this filthy, filthy um um in between the legs attempt. Uh on a guy earlier, and it was absolutely filthy. This guy screams technique, and I love that he's in the midfield and that he's like able to show himself, to show his technique, and show his ability a little bit more. This guy is, bro. That guy has something with the ball. I'm telling you, this guy is crazy. If the game goes his way, he's a really, really good player. We have a really, really good bench. PSG has a really, really good bench. And I think that's what showed today, right? And people, and that's one thing that I would like to answer about a few things that people have been saying about the Ligue 1 and the lack of competitivity and that it allows us to rest our best players for the Champions League games. I don't think that's what it is, right? I think that if the reason why PSG is so successful is because it has a bench that it can use to alternate games, right? The quality, I think that apart from maybe Arsenal, I think PSG has the best bench in the world, right? Like, and it did last season and it did the season before, and it's not a coincidence that we went back to back, right? And that we are, as of now, still favorites for the new title, right? It's because we have a good starting 11, but we also have a really implicated and a quality bench. Lee Kang-in was a crazy player. Crazy player. And you saw it. You saw it. Like I saw the goal that he scored for Atleti for his first game. Crazy goal, right? These guys are quality. We have a quality team, and it allows us to do this in our league. Yes, it's Ligue 1. Maybe that has something to do with it. But I think that if it were Luis Enrique and he was at the Premier League, he would be doing the same thing. That might not be meaning that he might win it, but I still think that this team is competitive with this bench to do any kind of thing, right? This team is crazy. And I think that our success in the league is not always guaranteed. It's been guaranteed because we have fastened a team, and people keep saying this about PSG when they play PSG, and what really makes this team strong is that it doesn't the level doesn't drop when you make substitutions with PSG. And today it didn't. It did the opposite. It rose, right? They know how to play in this system. They know how to play in this game, in this team. They have this connection in terms of how they think of football. And they all speak the same football altogether, right? And that is why ultimately this works. Um, I love this team. I think this team is great, and this is, starting 11 and bench included. I love what we did with the bench today. That's my thought on the game. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on this. Um, I ultimately it's the beginning of the season. There's not a lot to conclude. Ultimately, we have to look at the new players, see what they do, and so far, I'm obviously very happy with Ferran Torres. I hope Dembele, wakes up a little bit because that was bad. But no alarms here, and a good game altogether. Ren, congratulations, really, really good performance. And we'll see you for the next one. Bye, guys.